We're here today essentially because unconventional gas is not wanted in this area by the community. Okay, we're seeing democracy in action. We're seeing people flocking to this event to say we don't want unconventional gas in our area. That's essentially what it comes down to. And as representatives of the people, we should be enforcing that position. So that's why I'm here today.
This process of claiming back country in Kyogle area has happened now. Roads have been surveyed, and we know that this country is one place that gas, coal, gold, uranium miners aren't going to get into. So a big clap for you all.
Yeah, a wonderful day. I mean, here in Kyogle, the first gas group got started, I suppose, 3-4 years ago now, when there was first talk of Magasco putting a pipeline up the Lyons Road. And to see it come to fruition today here, where we celebrated more than 90% of the people surveyed in Kyogle saying that they don't want this area to be turned into gas fields. Been a wonderful, wonderful day for the community.
We often get told by the industry regularly that the only people that oppose this industry are extremists, alarmists, anarchists. I can't think of any of the other insults I've had thrown at us.
These people, they're from all walks of life. So we're talking about real people living real lives, wanting real outcomes from their representatives, and having the ability to say no. Being able to say, no, I don't want you on my land, I don't want you in my LGA, I don't want you in my area. They're afraid for their children, their grandchildren's futures, they're afraid for their health, air, land, farmland, water. I mean, there's so many issues around coal seam gas that are unresolved.
I thought I understood CSG, but when I found out how it harms physical health, I was shocked. I just did not understand how dangerous this industry really is.
This is from the United Nations Environment Programme, and I don't think you can find a more august body than UNEP. And at the end of last year, the United Nations Environment Programme put out what was called a global environmental alert. And basically they said that the production, exploration and production for unconventional gas may have unforeseen environmental impacts. Some of those will happen if the technology is not used correctly, but others will happen even if the technology is used correctly. And what they are saying is that you simply cannot regulate this industry into safety, that it is inherently unsafe.
What's happening to Australia is treacherous and treasonous, all for the sake of international mining companies who'll expatriate this land to other parts of the world. We won't get the benefits of it, and at the same time leave the place a complete wasteland.
CSG mining is fundamentally flawed in 3 ways. There's no regulation, there's no engineering fix that can solve the problem of faulty wells, fugitive emissions, and the disposal of wastes.
And so the things they talked about were the release of greenhouse gases, water contamination, land clearance, the fight for water and land for food and biodiversity.
The chemicals particularly concern me in terms of our groundwater, because without water we die. That's what it comes down to, whether it be your cattle, whether it be for your crops, anything. We talked today about contamination of these things.
You don't need to know a whole lot, but there's certain things, and well integrity is one of them. And Professor Anthony Ingraffia says 6% of the pipes fail immediately. 60% fail after 20 years, and they all fail eventually. So when we get the spin from these jokers telling us that it's all safe and we're looking after you, we know that that's lying. That's not true.
They want confirmation that it's safe, that it's not going to cause the same sort of side effects that thalidomide caused, that it's not going to cause cancer, it's not going to have the impacts that it's currently having in Queensland. I mean, the evidence is there for us to see.
We have the complete scientific story in Tara. We know about the atmosphere. We know what pollutants are there. We know that the companies are discharging massive amounts of pollutants, and we know the health effects. There is no need for further science. If the case is that you need to do a risk assessment, it's already proven. The science says there is a high probability of catastrophic outcomes.
The state government has introduced a range of regulations which are the most stringent in Australia, whilst at the same time we can acknowledge that governments of all persuasions have a poor track record of regulating industries when questionable promises of large sums of money flow into depleted government coffers.
Now, given government's track record of regulation, how safe do you think it would be?
There's never been a time like this. Australians forced to raise children in gas fields, communities exposed to massive amounts of dangerous CSG pollutants, politicians shirking their duty to protect citizens.
We're not radicals, we're grandmothers, we're mothers, we're workers, and we've got our backs to the wall, and Mr Thomas George can testify that it's never happened before.
But this is also a time of unprecedented public awareness. The CSG assault has created the greatest social and environmental movement Australia has ever seen. And we have good reason to be optimistic. Surveys keep showing that the overwhelming majority of Australians do not want CSG in populated areas. 75% in New South Wales, 65% in Casino, 87% in Lismore, and the reason that we're here celebrating today, more than 90% in Kyogle are against CSG.
It doesn't matter your political or religious persuasion. It doesn't matter whether you're a business person, a farmer, a lifestyler, or a retiree. CSG and its impacts don't discriminate. As you all know, Council currently has a moratorium on coal seam gas exploration in the Kyogle LGA. And these documents, these signed road closures against CSG, reinforce Council's position. We have denied the CSG companies a social licence to operate in the Northern Rivers area, but they have made it equally as clear that they intend to come whether they want it or not. We have no resistance but the resistance I see in front of me, and I am so proud to be part of and to represent a community that stands up for social justice and is so committed to preserving its way of life that it demands to be heard. But the CSG industry should be left in no doubt that the people of this community will never stop fighting until our way of life is assured and until we see the last of CSG in the Northern Rivers.
At the end of the day, it's up to the people to determine what they want for their LGA or what they want for their area and their country. And I think the people have spoken.
The Australian people are not going to cop shattered communities and ruined country. Ian Gayard was right when he said that this is a fight for our lives. But it's even more than that. This is a fight for the lives that our children deserve and for all future children. CSG is the poison. We are the antidote. To protect our community, we have to end the gas field madness.
It's time for us to get active. If Magasco is successful with this well in Bentley, they will put in a gas field and they will put the pipeline up Lyons Road. This is the greatest threat to this area that there's ever been.
It's time to take action. We will win, and we're almost there. But think about what you can do and how you can help. If you have never written to a politician, this is the time to do it. If you've never attended a gas group, this is the time to do it. Spread the word, act from the heart to protect our country. Keep waking people up to the truth. The power of the people and true democracy should do the rest.